What's going on, y'all? It's J Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Gonna talk about a few different topics real quick here, but really wanted to give not necessarily like a straight up recap, although I'll recap some elements of the event, but talk about a specific performance from the Bricks versus Battle Academy card. Another theme card, which I remember at the beginning of 2024, I really have always preached theme cards, especially even if you're a smaller league. It brings attention to an event, and while we are going to get into some things that aren't necessarily the most positive about this event, I will say that it definitely got attention because of the theme purpose, right? And even though the theme was all over the place, I mean, you did have the Bricks. There's no question the Bricks brought the Bricks, but then you had Battle Academy, who there was some top floor crew members, some people that I've come to know as part of the Battle Academy crew, but I saw Young Cannon there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know Young Cannon was Battle Academy. It's just that the moments like that where I'm like, are we sure this is a battle? Like, is that what their roster is? So a little bit of confusion, and then that confusion and kind of concerns about the card on paper going in, it lived up to the concerns for about halfway through the event. And I will say I saw some people, the stream was going in and out. I mean, the stream off rip, it like went live, went away for like 20 minutes. It just said, hello, goodbye. So it came back eventually, and there was a lot of battles that not a lot of full battles shown. There was a lot of just cutting out, just black screen. It would just go down. So it was a mess, and then I saw in the beginning, Marvelous, I think his name was kind of cooking Chuck 50. Well, actually, I've caught a couple battles for here and there on these smaller leagues. I thought he was okay. He wasn't okay in this battle, but the stream cut out for that. I think OG Prime was someone that was cooking for the Bricks. I thought he was okay, but then the stream cut out for the rest of his battle. And then when it did come back, some of these Battle Academy cats, man, like some of these bars where I saw a digest for you to stomach that, like absolutely not. Absolutely not. I saw for the first time in a good amount of time, I saw a couple attacks on hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't cool. It absolutely was not cool. So about halfway through this event, it's a bit of a shit show. There's no way. And then, I mean, people were cooking the venue, which it doesn't really all matter that much to me, but I will say, maybe it was just the cameraing. I've heard there's been a few events thrown in this venue, but with the purple walls, I think it was a red garage door, the roof exposed, you know what I'm saying? It was looking crazy. So it just optically, raptically, things were not looking great. I will say Hennyman and Peaches had a solid battle. Pretty much played all through. I had Hennyman in the first two. He's been on a good little streak lately in the smaller leagues. Ella the Mayor, Peaches is okay. So like that wasn't offensive, but there was offensive things going on. Sniper and Young Cannon goes. Actually a pretty good battle. It's not the performance we're here to talk about, but Sniper had one of the better rounds of the night in the first. I thought Young Cannon got the last two, but there's debate there. Sniper had a stumble in the second, or it would have been his round. So you can kind of, you can have a conversation about that. But that's pretty much the only other performance outside of the performance that I came here to talk about that we're going to talk about, and that is Dolla. And Dolla Bill has made some noise now for a minute, man. He's gotten a lot of love, which is like a fan base he's built up, mostly in a Twitter sense, because I know in this community, there's kind of a difference between the YouTube fan base and the Twitter fan base at this point. There's beginning to almost be like a bit of a rift there. But in a sense, Dolla made noise one way or another. He does have a couple YouTube drops, Bags and Bodies, which not everyone is super in tune with that even, but OSBL's done a couple battles. Like, he's trying to go around and like, that's what you're supposed to do, man. You go to all different types of corners of this small corner of hip-hop that we have with battle rap, and you go to these different leagues and pluck a little bit to get to your fan base, and then obviously he's a brick, you know what I'm saying? His opponent was Top Floor Mars, who I can't say that I've been the most impressed with the few battles that I caught, but even with the matchup that I expected Dolla, if he is as good as kind of some people are hyping him up to be, I'm expecting to get a 30 either way, but there's winning a battle, just doing what you're supposed to do, going through the motions. I won, I was the favorite. And then there's like making a moment of it. And I think this is a great example of like, this isn't a great situation. Like this card, the promo behind it was kind of all over the place, right? You even have a Battle Academy Stiz mid-event being like, I hate that Wing picked this venue. I mean, brother, you're running the event and you're shitting on the proceedings of the event. I should have got my own pay-per-view people, right? So everything is all over the place. You don't really have a recognized opponent across from you, but still people are talking about your performance because you just spit 3 really, really, really good rounds of battle rapping. And then on top of that, Dolla's style, which you're going to see if you've seen the clips or you're hearing any of the noise, very unique, man. Like, there's just nobody that raps like him. And I know in battle rap, I feel like a term that we hear a lot is almost like when they want to make someone out to be like really good, you know what I'm saying, or like push someone, they're a breath of fresh air. Not everyone is truly a breath of fresh air. Some people are really good and they need to be recognized, but like we could kind of see where their style comes from, right? Doesn't stop them from being good, but then you got guys that just rap in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I haven't seen someone go about battle rapping like that. And that's how I think a lot of people, including myself, feel about Dollar Bill. His first, second, and third, what was it? I want to orbit, put rings around, I let it ring around Mars, and they sat urns on the top floor crew. Like, I feel like, and this is someone that's watched Dollar Bill a little bit, I wasn't as impressed with his work against Young Riddick, a couple of the other battles he's had on OSBL even, but his pen has improved so much. Like, I feel like it's a drastic jump for where he was maybe 2 or 3 battles ago. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the guy, JC Chilla Jones, you know, I'm just saying his pen has kind of just gotten to a better level, because he's still, I think, sells some simple lines, and I think the main basis of his style is not his writing. It's really just kind of his delivery and performance. Like I said, he has a different way of going about things. His accent, I think, has a large part to do with that, in the same way it did for Swamp, as it did for the Verbs and Hollas during the Midwest movement. So obviously, just right there, his sound is going to be different. I believe he's from Mississippi, so I don't think we have any battle rappers from Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? So it is touching into a bit of a different region there. And then he's down with Bash Money, which is a group with Capo. Hustle's a battle rapper. I don't think everybody knows about Hustle yet, but he's pretty decent too. So they got a little bit of movement there, man. Shout out Spills and Bash Money, because obviously, you know, they're moving units over there now. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, really good performance. You know, whenever they drop that, or if you do want to if you're hearing this noise and you're like, what's up with this guy? Because some people are throwing out the star word, which it is entirely too early to throw out the word star. I'm just going to say that now. But he is showing, like, the impact. I saw the clips, the numbers it was kind of doing last night. Like, you can't make up impact when it's organic. So there obviously is some buzz here, and you are going to start hearing more and more about his name if you haven't already. So him versus Top Floor Mars, whenever that drops, or if you want to go cop the VOD at this point now, I'm not going to say it was worth the price of the whole event. I would be lying. However, it is a good performance that you should definitely get your eyes on if you're trying to see real talent with potential coming up. And now it's kind of all about the next move, and I'm seeing there's been some debate about, like, him being on RB. People were saying free Dolla, save him from the brick process, which is harsh, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they're gonna have a chance now with, I think, Dolla really blowing up, to maybe, like, you know, just book him. And I say really blowing up, I just mean you could put him on a mid-tier opponent, even throw him on a full circle, and I think that people would be receptive to that. However, I do have to agree to an extent that if full circle is, like, just the next level, that's where you can go. I don't know what his style would look like in an empty room. It's a lot of entertainment, it's a lot of comedy, and that all goes into crowd control and entertaining. That can entertain larger rooms of people. That's why people get excited. Is like, yo, this is like not just rapping really good, he's doing things that are just entertaining as an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Take the rapping part away. So I feel like you want to put him in front of people and in front of crowds, and I don't know full circle. While he could get a better opponent on there, and even that pool is a little bit limited, I don't know if that actual setting speaks the best to his style and his strengths and what he can do. But if that is the next step for him, though, to rank, if he's going to stay over with the brick process, I definitely would want to see him, whoever his next competition should be, not a top-tier opponent. When I say a name, because I'm going to say I want a name for him, people are automatically, I'm seeing top-tier names thrown out. Let's not do that. But let's get to a mid-tier name, or a next, you know, just a little, like, step up. I saw somebody say him versus Stumbles, even though I would consider Stumbles kind of another easy win. There is namesake there, and for the 1 in every 15 battles that Stumbles actually performs like a professional, they could have a really, really great battle, kind of unorthodox in a sense. Him versus Sheet Happens, I think, is a pretty cool battle that he could have. I just see a lot of potential. I mean, even if it was Dolla, maybe Dolla versus Dot, like, I think that's a name that, I mean, Dot's never above any type of plate, giving out any, I guess it would be giving out a shot in a sense, even though I think Dolla has more buzz if that battle went down at the moment. But I'm just saying, stuff like that, whoever it is next, it cannot be another no name, because he has a couple great battles versus Banks on Bags and Bodies, here versus Top Floor Mars on Battle Academy, where people love the 3 rounds, but it's time to do that versus someone that could potentially punch back at you. I do know that he has a battle with Hansel booked for the end of August out in New Orleans. So, you know, we'll see. I think Hansel is reputable comp. I think it is a more dangerous one, because I think he writes better. You know what I'm saying? There's a few things he objectively does better, but if Dolla performs like he did just now and he's able to replicate that against the higher levels of comp as he goes, that's going to be a lot. That's going to be a problem for people, man. You know what I'm saying? The way that he's able to kind of diffuse with comedy, but still land the occasional big haymaker here and there, it's like Cajun clean paper. There's no other way. Like, if I had to draw a comparison, that's kind of the way I could think of it, is the way that, I'd say young or like old clean, how he used to perform. You know, you look at the classic PGs, a lot of that, he's not punching, he's not doing much of a lot of anything. It's a lot of almost like disrespectful but funny shit talk. So I have nothing but praises to give to Dolla right now. Like I said, I think it's too early to say anything about him being a star or, or a top tier opponent. But there's enough here where there's definitely potential, and we want to see him go through the circuit. We want to see him get pushed as soon as possible. And then, the other topics I want to talk about real quick is just kind of like, what's going on over there with King of the Dot and URL. I know URL announced Kings versus Queens 5, which, as I talked about in my video for it, wasn't exactly the biggest fan of the card. What they'd announced so far, because they'd only announced 4 battles up to this point. And now, the date, where exactly it's going to go down, all that info is kind of on hold at the moment. So I'm figuring that it's going to get, I don't know if they still haven't announced that yet. Is it going to be like a late info drop for something in August? Do they push it maybe back out of August? Because now you got a few big events in August. You got Trenches going down August 10th. August 24th, you have King of the Dot Massacre 6, where they have done the inverse. They have a date. They have a place. They have not announced a battle yet. And we're almost at the end of July. So I don't know on either side. It's just like, I'm not even saying necessarily wanting more transparency, because I'm not, chomping at the bits to know when Kings versus Queens is actually going down, to be honest with you. However, it's been a dry July. Battle rap wise, it has been, as I've said over and over, it's been a really rough July. But I think that August is going to turn back up in the right direction, and I want the info and announcements to come out. There's a little, so we could talk about some more major level battle rap, because that is what shifts the culture and moves it around. Although it is great when you have something like a dollar bill type of situation happen. But outside of that, it's been nothing but bullshit. It's been nothing but drama. Shit, I did two videos on drama topics. That's a rarity over here, you know what I'm saying? But that's just been the climate of things. So I would love to see August, September, you know what I'm saying, we get back to some rap, some stuff that can move the culture for competitive reasons. So really waiting for those, especially Massacre 6, because, King of the Dot, I have a lot of respect for, and even though they throw limited events now, their last 2 events, they only threw 2 events last year, they're great events. Blackout 8 and the Pat Stay card were fantastic. You know what I'm saying? So cannot wait to see what happens. Who they're going to put on Massacre 6. If they're able to bring anyone for any crazy debuts, any top tiers that haven't been there before. It's just, Massacre has given us a lot of very important battles in the past with people that have heavy King of the Dot careers, heavy URL careers, you know what I'm saying, heavy all over the place. So I don't know, man, I'm just very, very much so looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that sometime, you know what I'm saying, in this week that we have coming up, we can get more news on one, if not both of those events. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I wanted to get my complaints out there for the events that I'd like to see fully get announced up to this point, but also about Dollar Bill, because that is the main point of this video. If you did get to see the performance, how do you feel about it? If you get a chance to look at any of his older work, you know what I'm saying, how do you feel about that? Because we're still talking about a pretty new talent here. He's not faced real mid-tier, top-tier competition. So if you're kind of one of those that sees this star talk and thinks it's going too fast, listen, I understand. I understand it can get annoying when someone just does something good and they go all the way up here with it. However, the guy had a fantastic performance and showed a lot of potential. So I just want to hear everyone's opinion and maybe an opponent or two that you want to see him verse soon. But it's been Jay Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.